Hi, I'm Carl Azus, and I have a special announcement to make today on CNN 10. Fridays are awesome. Welcome to our last show of the 2017-2018 season. We're not going away, we're just going off the air for a couple months and returning on Monday, August 13th. Today's global coverage begins in Central Africa. International health officials say they have reason to be cautiously optimistic about limiting the spread of an Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It was first reported in early May. Since then, there have been 54 cases identified in the DRC. That includes 25 people who've died from Ebola. On average, the virus kills about half of those who get it. Most of the cases in this outbreak were in a rural area. But what alarmed medical officials a couple weeks ago is that the disease had spread to a city named Mbandaka, where more than 1 million people live, and there were concerns that it could spread quickly there. So doctors started vaccinating people. The World Health Organization says more than 400 have been vaccinated so far. The drug is experimental. It's not approved everywhere, but the officials using it say it's both safe in humans and highly effective against the Ebola virus.
Ebola, a highly infectious virus that's killed thousands and could go on to kill many more. The stakes are high. There have been at least 27 Ebola outbreaks reported since the virus was discovered in 1976, according to the CDC. This includes the 2014 West Africa outbreak, where more than 11,000 people died. So how can the world respond when so many lives are at stake? You need a huge operation to stop Ebola. Here are some of the weapons used to fight one of the world's deadliest viruses. Spot symptoms. It usually takes 8 to 10 days for symptoms such as a fever, vomiting, diarrhea to show up. Checking temperatures in affected regions, as well as at borders, can help catch the virus before it spreads any further. Isolate patients. Ebola spreads through bodily fluids such as blood or saliva, and even the tiniest amount can transmit the virus. If someone has Ebola, they need to be quarantined with minimal visitors. Trace contacts. The virus can easily spread to family, friends, or anyone who's come in contact with the patient when they show symptoms. Contacts must be found, monitored, and if they show signs of Ebola, isolated. Suit up. Anyone in contact with the patient must be protected from head to toe. Even the smallest slip-up could lead to contamination and ultimately even death. The origin of Ebola is unknown, but scientists believe that bats are the most likely source. Administer vaccines. An experimental vaccine can now be deployed to the epicenter of an outbreak, given to people in contact with the infected and their contacts. It's a strategy known as ring vaccination. Distributing vaccines in remote areas can be a challenge, especially because they have to be stored in below freezing conditions. Altogether, these strategies can strangle the spread of Ebola, potentially saving thousands of lives in the process.
At midnight Thursday night, new tariffs, which are like taxes, were set to take effect in the U.S. On imports from Canada, Europe, and Mexico, steel now costs an additional 25% to bring into America. Aluminum costs an extra 10%. These tariffs were announced in March, but Canada, Mexico, and the European Union were originally exempted from this, meaning the taxes didn't apply to them. Those exemptions expired last night. Why are the tariffs in place? President Donald Trump wants to help the U.S. steel and aluminum industries by limiting what America brings in from other countries. This could help improve sales for the American metal producers. But it could also make it harder for the U.S. to sell other products in Canada, Mexico, and Europe because those nations announced they'd put tariffs of their own on U.S. goods. Investors are also concerned that a trade war could flare up. Trade negotiations between the U.S. and the affected countries are ongoing. 10-second trivia. What word is derived from a Greek term that means the hardest metal? Diamond, chromium, gem, or alloy? The Greek word atomos means the hardest metal or diamond. And our next report has an interview with two creators of laboratory-grown diamonds. They're not as valuable as natural diamonds. They're also not as unique. Diamonds that are mined from the earth are said to be one of a kind thanks to the work of nature. But it's sometimes hard to know where the real ones come from, if they're mined with child labor or if they've been sold to pay for weapons. And lab diamonds are a growing part of a valuable market.
We have here 2 stones. Can you tell which one is the lab diamond and which one is the natural?
They truly look identical to me. Is this the lab-grown diamond here?
No, that's the natural one.
Really? Wow, okay. You truly can't tell the difference.
Because they're both diamonds.
So this is where the magic happens. This is where you guys grow the diamonds.
This is the diamond mine.
How does one grow a diamond?
We're using a ball of plasma energy and breaking apart hydrocarbon and raining the carbon down on seeds of diamond, atom by atom growing these diamonds.
How long does it take to produce one of these beauties? About a month. How did you guys get inspired to start this business?
When Jason and I talked about getting engaged, I said I did not want a natural diamond as part of our engagement.
Why is that?
I care about the origin of my products. I'm a conscientious gal. I care about where my eggs come from, where my products come from. And so we really set out to create a ring that used other materials. But what we learned through the process was that we wanted to have the longevity behind a material as strong, as durable as diamond. Natural diamonds tend to change hands 12 to 13 times before they'll end up on someone's finger, whereas the laboratory-grown diamond industry is much more streamlined. Growers work with companies like us, and we work with clients.
Can you explain to us why mined diamonds are bad for the environment?
It takes hundreds of tons of rock being blasted out of the earth with diesel and dynamite to extract 1 carat of diamond. And so it's an incredibly energy intensive process, and diamond mining is getting less sustainable every single year.
But is the origin story of diamonds part of their appeal?
A natural diamond is a miracle of nature, but this is a miracle of human progress. And I find that far more compelling than something that just happened to come out of the earth.
Why are some of the jewelers out there so resistant to these lab-grown diamonds?
I think there's a lot of misinformation about this product. I think some people believe that laboratory-grown diamond means a fake diamond, that it's cubic zirconia or moissanite, that it's some sort of a diamond simulant. But laboratory-grown diamonds are diamonds.
Right, they're real diamonds.
They are.
There's nothing different.
There's nothing different except the origin.
It's not always possible to see the sunset amid the spiring skyscrapers of New York City, but a few times a year, this happens. The sun is aligned with the city's grid, casting a glow straight through the borough of Manhattan and resulting in Manhattanhenge, as long as it's not raining. It was named Manhattanhenge as a tribute to the British landmark of Stonehenge, where the sun also lines up with this structure during the summer solstice. Of course, it might make some folks superstitious, but usually the sun's well off the grid, so even if it sheds new light on old horizons just 4 times a year, it's better than if it doesn't Manhattan at all. What a way to sunset a season on CNN 10. It's been a privilege shedding light on new subjects for you. We wish you all a brilliant summer, and thank you for being the brightest stars in CNN's audience. I'm Carl Azus for CNN.